Boom, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, of course. It is Memorial Day weekend at the time of recording this. And so I hope all of you are having a blessed weekend, safe, and just generally good all around. Somebody asked me a really good question and asked me to give my opinion on this. And basically, the crux of the question was, will society continue to advance? And will it turn into the Jetsons style society? Now, number one, it's important to note that in the 80s, they thought that by now things would look a certain way. And of course, it does not. There has been some progress and things do look somewhat differently. But by and large, I would say that many things have been kept, and many cool monuments and things like that. We definitely do not live in some futuristic society that some people thought we would be living in by the year 2020. I mean, I think they thought that we'd be in this type of society by the 2000s, let alone 2022, and we do not. Now, when asking or answering this question, rather, I think you have to look, and I think that this is a good question to answer because it really looks at the crux of the West and the current predicament that we are in. The two conflicting ideas, in my opinion, would be, number one, you have all of this amazing technological improvement and growth. But on the other, you are seeing society decay, mainly in the realm of moral values. We are seeing mass homelessness. So even with all of this technological growth, on one hand, due to the lack of morality, tradition, and let's just say morals again, lack of morality, you are seeing society in many regards worse off than what it was 40 years ago. So you have technology going like this, and you have morality going like this. And I would argue that the perfect storm was met in the West from probably about the 1960s to foster technological growth. In other words, tradition, morals were high. People wanted to do good. They wanted to do good for their country, for their family. So moral character was high, and the building blocks for technological advancement was there also. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I think that we don't have that anymore. And not only do we not have that, we are starting to see that the only moral code that exists in Western culture is directly opposite to what fosters technological growth. Meaning, the mainstream moral code, if you can even call it that, or moral MO, is diversity, multiculturalism, globalism, which none of those things foster the necessary environment for technology to continue to grow or for advancement to continue to occur. Because in order for things to move forward, you need a competitive nature. You need an environment that fosters improvement. And when I said that in the 1960s, you had this perfect catalyst and perfect backdrop for technological improvement, I really mean that, because on one hand, you had moral traditions and moral codes that were steadfast or fairly steadfast, certainly not what we see now. And on the other, you had capitalism, which definitely rewarded competitiveness, drive, a will, all of those things. And now, fast forward to 2022, we are now in a society that does not encourage or reward any of those things. Now, of course, you have people like, the Tesla guy and new Twitter owner. I'm blanking on his name right now. Elon Musk. Sorry about that, folks. You have guys like him who are outliers, who get through the system and persevere, not because of the system, that make it not because of the system, but in spite of the system. We used to say that, in sports, that we won in spite of our coach. Anyways, and I think that those are outliers that we are currently seeing. Steve Jobs, men like that. But I really do think in the next 40 years, we are going to see less and less men like that, because the overall goal of the mainstream moralistic code is not greatness. In fact, most of the mainstream push back against that. When Donald Trump had his slogan, "Make America Great Again," they pushed back against that, not because they didn't want to, not because they would say, well, America was never great. That wasn't why. It was because they didn't care about greatness in general. They could give a fuck about greatness. That's why. Because in the moral the moral code of the mainstream is that not of greatness. That's not what they want. What they desire above all else is multiculturalism, diversity, inclusion, and all that shit. And once we start to see it become even more mainstream, we are going to see less and less men like Elon Musk and things like that. Now, the one thing that could hinder this prediction that I currently have is, of course, sorry, I dropped my pen, is, of course, some major shift in the West, or some major conflict from China, or, Americans start seeing China become this amazing, wonderful country, and they start saying, we were once that, and we can get back to that. This has gone too far. Enough is enough. Outside of some major shift, which is possible. I mean, we've seen that throughout history, major events occurring that shift the whole outline of a society. We've seen that occur. But outside of that, the current trajectory that we are on is that of average, mediocre, a plateau, where we no longer are going like this, where we are going like this, and more so going downhill. And I think that's currently where we are at. I think currently we are like this. We're kind of steady, but eventually that's going to start dipping downwards. Unless, again, of course, unless some major event occurs, which I can't predict. I have no idea. I mean, who knows? Who knows what gets people to truly change their minds and their ways of thinking. But unfortunately, what made all of this technological advancement possible, all of those things are in direct opposition and are being directly opposed by the mainstream. Again, competitiveness, will, desire, greatness, all those things are directly being pushed back against. And if that's the case, it's going to go downhill. And I could even take this a step further, that you need strong men to make this happen. And in a society that beats down its strongest men every chance it can get and makes them feel bad for their talents, as opposed to gawking at their excellence, in a society that pedestalizes women for total bullshit, nothing, things that are erroneous and not important at all. And that praises women for, well, being women, not doing anything remarkable. Men are going to start checking out in larger numbers, and they already are. That's the thing. They already are. They're checking out of the dating pool, and they are increasingly checking out of society. Now, I would say, this is my closing statement, I would say you can't do that, because then you let them win. And if you believe that it is good to be a strong man, then you need to continue to fight the good fight. And you need to continue to be a fucking man and do what you need to do, save money, continue to work your ass off, build your physique up, all the things that I have said I think men should be doing. This is not me saying that because of this, you need to stop doing that. No, it's the opposite, because actually, if something cataclysmic occurs, society is going to be looking to us for answers. And that may happen sooner than later. So my prediction is that we will not be living in the Jetsons. My prediction in the next 50 years, if I live that long, hopefully I do, my prediction is not only will we not live in that society, but though we will continue to de-evolve. Technology advancement will decline, and society will continue to get worse and worse, because the only thing that is propping up the West right now is technological advancement. If there wasn't that, the West would be totally and utterly fucked. And again, sooner rather than later, I think that we are going to see the fruits of that in front of our very own eyes. And I hate to say it, but that is my prediction. We will not see the Jetsons, that type of world exist. And I say all this to say, because the main crux of the question that was asked to me is, do I need to worry about the metaverse? And do I need to worry about how digital society is becoming? And my answer is overwhelmingly no, because society is de-evolving so much and going backwards so much. And when I say society going backwards, what I'm talking about is the moral compass, the values of a nation, which do matter. They do matter, because the values of a nation directly influence the fruits that you see in society. And as long as that continues, the opposite, rather, as long as it continues to be pushed back against the greatness and things like that, we will see the very thing that has been holding us up, technological advancement, start to decline as well. And it can only hold us up for so long. So I don't think you have to worry about the metaverse. I don't think you have to worry about the digital age, because I don't think it's going to be lasting for that. I saw, some guy on YouTube talking about how, he thinks that digital currency is the future. And so that's what I'm talking about when I say, do you have to worry about that stuff? Do you have to get super knowledgeable about that stuff? Now, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't learn a little bit about it, but I am also saying, because you should always be trying to learn. But what I'm also saying is, I think that that is not a well thought out answer, because the only way for this digital currency in this digital age to manifest itself is to have the proper environment for it to happen. And we currently do not have that. We do not have that. So that is my answer, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will not be seeing the Jetsons anytime soon. That type of world, we will not be seeing that exist anytime soon. And, you know, we can debate another time if that's good or bad. You know, that's a different topic for a different day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Help your fucking boy out here. You know, well, subscribing makes you feel good. At the very least, like, comment, share. You know the fucking drill. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. See you guys next time. Life of Chad. Bye.